Hey everybody, welcome back. We're doing another Marvel Future Revolution video. In this one, we have new badges, and we're going to be looking at them. The Gorr invasion, Gorr the God Butcher, Thor Love and Thunder movie has come out. No spoilers in this video. I did personally enjoy parts of the movie for sure. But again, not going to talk about that. So we'll check out these badges. We'll touch upon how we think they rank up against the other special badges as well. Because I've definitely got some feelings on that, but I'll go through these badges a little bit because they are kind of interesting. Some new dynamics to these. Are they really PvP oriented? That was kind of the thing they mentioned in the post. And then is there any use in PvE? Because a lot of times if you're going to build these things, you really want to sort of make sure that they, you can use them as much in all the game modes as possible. So we're going to dive into that. If you're new to the channel, check out Discord, links in the description below, and hammer down like button, subscribe if you want, and we'll check it out.
Bring me WolverThor!
Alright, so I haven't been doing a lot of invasions yet. I don't even have any of those badges at all. You know, I can do the research where you're looking at the headquarters and you can see it. Obviously, the Thor Love and Thunder or the Gorr the God Butcher event seems like it's not so bad of an invasion. Seems like some people are doing pretty well on it. Some high scores. I personally haven't tried to raise up any of my scores yet, but it's an interesting invasion nonetheless. I like it. So you can see my rankings aren't very high. I'm what, 50th on our server. It looks like we got a couple or several X-Forcians up here towards the top. Warrior Queen Storm, Mambo and Black Widow, and then half cent on a Spidey. Interesting. So anyway, so that's a different version of this, but as you know, you get special badges from these. You can get them dropped. You can use the dimension box over here, which I'll talk to about the second, or you can use battle alloys to craft them. So, you know, I go through here and I go to the fifth one. I look what it's at. I click on it. I click on this thing. I click on bonus stat 5. I look at what it gives me. All right. And then I analyze all these things, and we're going to jump to that in a second. If you're not aware also, specifically I mentioned the dimension box as far as where to get these as well. If you want to look at those, you can, or if you want to find a spot to get it, you can come here to your dimension box, pull some draws. I'm actually saving mine. That's a spoiler on this a little bit, is they don't strike me as being like definitely top tier. They seem like there's some potential. So we're going to pull up a graphic. I have this graphic, or I'll publish it at the time of this video on my server. Again, I mentioned this in the description below. There's a Discord link that you guys can check out, and I have a resources channel on there that you can see. So I will have this graphic up there so you can kind of have a quick view of what this is. Again, all of these are at the +5 level. So I'm going to go walk through these first one by one. Special badge 1. And all of the attack, defense, HP, those are the same on all the badges, all right? So we're not even going to really focus on that. We're going to focus on what is this sort of like special role, which you get once you get to these badges to the +1 mark. So the first badge deals up to 12% additional damage relative to the target's HP loss. Now, that 12% is at +5. So, what I don't like about this badge is that it is only 12% and it's situational. I like all extra multipliers, which this would be. It's an additional 12% of just additional damage, but it's based on your target's HP levels. So, you know, I'm not really super interested in that. I think, yeah, it's great if somebody's maybe almost dead or something along those lines. Maybe you're going to hit harder, which sometimes is cool, but I'm not necessarily looking for that out of this badge. I think if I got one of those, fine, but I'm not going to focus this badge until somebody tells me or does further testing beyond anything that I've looked at and done and talked to people about, where they find this is just somehow boosting their DPS like crazy, but I haven't seen it yet. So for that reason, I shall pass. Badge 2 increases damage dealt by 30% for 7 seconds when HP is 25% or below. So it's very similar to 1, but it's a little bit different. It's only for 7 seconds, and it's when you have less health. So again, it helps you finish somebody off, or maybe get a last strike in if you can. 30% extra damage is, pretty solid. The only thing I don't like about this is that it's when you're at 25% HP or less. Sometimes, depending on hits, that can be one hit and you're done, or 2 hits and you're done. So you might only get one ability here to hit for 30% addition. And if somebody's running around, hiding in Dimension Duel or something like that, it's hard to go track them down, and it's a long cooldown of 30 seconds. Now, I get that because you don't want to just constantly get 30% and run around, but I don't know. Now, I will say, as a Widow, if I'm using my recovery spec, where if I get down past like underneath 30% and it pops back up to 30%, during that, it actually is nice because it will stealth me and then I will get this buff. So for that reason, I would look into this. It's not bad, but I think it's a situational character type of thing. If you don't have the ability like what a Widow has with that, I don't know if I would touch it. But I personally am thinking about that a little bit, even though it's situational and I don't love situational items. All right, moving on to badge number 3. Recovers HP equal to 8% of skill damage dealt after using a dodge skill, and the cooldown's about 15 seconds. So shout out to Mamba, and specifically to, I can't read the name very well here, but it looks like Desmond D88 or something along those lines from the Alliance exclusive. So this badge 3 has some crazy OP abilities for PvE zones. Specifically, you're going to want to look at Battle Challenge, maybe DZ. I want you to note that this 11.6% here. All right, now watch. Boink! You see that HP fill up? Let's do it again. This is all from badge 3. Boink! Look at that. Just all the damage there that goes up there. All right, and now that is a huge Captain Marvel. Oh, we'll see that at the end. So see it again. I'll pause it. So 2.8 Captain Marvel. So again, the damage is high. Obviously, doing a lot of damage there. But I do know some other Iron Man who are using those kind of abilities that like maybe have a focus or multiple hits to it. Any high damage ability, and then again. Wait, see if we can actually pause it here. So there we go. So, and then you've got the badge 3, where you can see that 8%. It's all the way up at +5. So that's you got to consider that solid. One character that I think will absolutely love this badge, specifically in something like Dimension Duel, and that's Star-Lord, or any character that has a pre-dodge ability that will do more damage. So the reason that I say that is because you're recovering HP in this. So and it's based on the skill damage you deal after you dodge. So you're going to dodge, and in a situation, if you're dodging and you have a bunch of damage built up because of that dodge, that damage is going to be higher, making that 8% HP recovery a little bit better. So I think that in this situation of a Star-Lord, and I'm going to have some videos for some Star-Lord builds, I think, for you guys, but this one in particular, I think could go on him. Looking at number 4, it decreases remaining skill cooldown by 1.5% upon attacking an enemy. Cooldown 1 second. So basically, this can always or pretty much always be ready to go. We've done some testing on this specifically. I want to give a shout out to Dirk. He was doing a lot of this, and the general feel of this is it does help. If you have a cooldown problem, I would definitely look at this badge. It doesn't matter on the game mode. I think this sort of badge can be good anywhere. This is probably the badge, if I can have a selector or if I get one of these, this is the badge that I think I like the most to try to build up, because I personally do have some cooldown problems. So I'm going to look at it for that reason. It might seem small, but because there's a small cooldown on it and all you have to do is attack and basics actually work for it, it's a good badge to look at. Badge number 5 increases the enemy's cooldown by 20% for 7 seconds upon landing a skill 4 times on the same target. There's no cooldown on this. Now, I haven't done a lot of testing on this, but it's very interesting to me because I like the concept of applying a cooldown debuff on somebody. But what my question is, and the testing that needs to really be further done here is, once I get to that 4th hit, do I have to restart it 1 again? Or does it just keep, you know, stacking up so that I can keep that 20% cooldown there? And at what point does that, like, what if I only hit somebody 3 times? Do I have like a certain duration to hit them the 4th time before it's like gone? I don't know. So that one makes me a little nervous, but this badge has a ton of potential. I really like the option here. Now, it also says landing a skill. So if somebody dodges or if they're invincible because of an active dodge, you're not landing the skill, so it doesn't count. Now, you're certainly going to land 4 skills on somebody, but in a dimension duel, by the time sometimes you might do that, it might not matter. This might, who cares? But I could see it being something that sort of at the last second can come in and help you win a fight. So don't sleep on this badge. If anybody's done any testing on it, I'd love to hear about it. I'm going to keep seeing if any folks in my alliance have done anything or tested with it as well. Typically, I like to save these sort of videos until a lot of people do testing. But on this one, I figured, you know what, let's get out early. Let's talk, or early. It's been out for a few days at least. But I want to get out and say, you know, some initial thoughts on it. So you might go in and try some of these out. Or if any of you have tested it, I want to hear from you. All right, final badge 6. Using a skill decreases the enemy's target stamina by 4.5 seconds. Cooldown 4 seconds. I wouldn't sleep on this badge either, because all you have to do is use a skill. That's it. All you got to do is do something, and you take away somebody's stamina. And the cooldown's 4 seconds, so that can easily happen almost every time you do something. So if you're leeching stam from somebody, that can be really good, and they get stam locked. I love this badge. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could see, again, a lot of potential on this. So all of these badges are interesting. I think most of them, though, you know, you got to consider, like, Thanos right now is like the top tier special badge that most people like because of the cooldown, and a lot of people struggle or don't have the proper cooldown, so they lean into that badge. I'm going to show, like, so I'm going to pull this up real quick. It's all of the other badges, the graphics that I've got for this. So these are the Thanos badges. All of them are basically about a cooldown decrease. You either get the stat here or cooldown decrease. You got to be careful, because if you get too many of them, it gives a negative status effect on it. So you got to kind of stagger that a little bit. The strange special badges, there is some potential for doing those around. These I see similar to the Gorr badges a little bit, where it's like, could that be good? That actually has the potential to be good, maybe. The Eternal special badges, I do like several of these, especially like, you know, the attack percent you get, some skill damage there upon defeating an enemy, some other stuff upon defeating an enemy, which is Omega War related. You know, again, very situational. And then the Magneto badges, which also are situational. When your stamina's at a certain percentage, you get a buff. You know, all of these sort of things are decent, but do they compare? Does the Gorr ones really beat down on the Thanos badges? I don't think so. I think that these Gorr badges, they're solid, but not anything that you're going to be like, oh my God, I must have all of these. But I like them. I definitely do. And if I mean, like I said, I think that I'm probably going to focus on a 4, and depending on how many seals and all that sort of thing I'll get, I'll look at some of these other ones. Also depends on what stats I get on the badge if I have to build up another. So, I would definitely, again, depending what you're looking at, 4 is really good. I would look at 6. If you're testing or you know, then maybe 5. You know, only Star-Lord for 3. I don't necessarily love 2 because it's situational, but and then 1 is, I don't really like that one either. So hopefully this helps you think about your Gorr badge a little bit, what you might want to build up. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you want to have further discussions as well, that Discord link, like I mentioned. Any support you want to give the channel, we always appreciate. Hammer down like buttons, etc. And until next time, we hope you have a wonderful day.